Did you know that if we live back in the beginning of the world, that those leaders came up with 613 laws that you had to obey? You had to obey them. About three-fourths of them were negative, and 25% of them were, you know, positive. But then God came along and he had a little talk with Moses. And he gave Moses, he just narrowed those 613 down to 10. And so we had the 10 commandments. And when he gave them those commandments, they couldn't keep those either. So along comes Jesus, and he takes those 10 and reduces them down to 2. And those 2 encompass all the 10. And I'm going to tell you what they are. Then I'm going to ask you if you do them. See if you can do these things. 1 says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all of your strength. That's just one commandment. That's a pretty strong one. The other one is love your neighbor as you love yourself. So, what do you do? Now here you are, a Christian, we've established that. And along comes a person and hurts you. Something either they've said or done to you that hurts you. Well, it really give you an option. It says you just have to. That's the commandment of Jesus. How do you do that? You can't naturally do that. You know you can't. I know that I've struggled with one person here in the last 4 or 5 years that I couldn't naturally just love them. But that's how we learn. That's what we're supposed to be maturing in. How do we get to that place where we can do it? It's an act of will. God is always working on our heart, always. And it's an act of, we have to release our will to God's. And if you can get to that point, then his love will come through you to them. But that's called working out your faith. You work out your own walk with God. But his whole purpose is to get us freed up. That way, if we love everybody, they can't hurt us. They really can't. And we won't be hurting other people. Because it says you have to love your neighbor as yourself. Well, you know, we all love ourselves pretty good. That's a given. You've heard of dying to yourself. Well, that's what it takes. Because, see, we want to stay hurt or get revenge and things like that. But we have to die to ourselves. And then as we yield over to God's will in our lives, He'll take over and he'll love those people through you. Anyway, the love of God is in you. You're able to love anybody and to forgive everybody. I heard someone say the other day, well, it's been 14 years and I'm trying to forgive them. Well, you're not trying very hard. You haven't taken that thing to the Lord and have him work on you about it. I don't think. Anyway, how do you feel about that? You think it would have been better to live back there when it was just the law of the land, those 613? Or maybe just during the time of the 10 Commandments? Or today when Christ, if you're a Christian, he just requires you to do those 2 things. So if you seek to do those 2 things, you'll be in good shape. Well, y'all, I love you. Tell me what you've done. Tell me what you need help with. I can pray with you in relation to that. All right, it's my 2 bits. Thanks for dropping in. Bye-bye.